spend a chill evening with me. I have a plan for tonight, so I had all these plans to do all these things today, and then I went out to start doing those things, and I started feeling really just anxious and bad, and so I ended up at home, and I've just been trying to have like a spiritual sort of day. Like, I actually did a really good meditation for like finding your higher purpose or something. It had you basically think back to memories when you were like 7 to 14 and see the things that you loved. And so I started thinking about all these moments from my childhood when I had like won these like essay contests at this like organization, and thinking back on how much I love to write poems and all this stuff. And then, oh my gosh, my soup. And then about an hour afterwards, my dad sent me a video that my grandma had posted, like memory, childhood memory, or no, Facebook memory that she posted literally like at the same, like literally maybe like 20 minutes after I'd finished the meditation. And it was me reciting a poem about social justice through that organization, and I had forgotten that I did that completely. So I took it as like a little sign. And so I've just been sitting here reflecting. So I'm currently making, I have it in my pot, I'm making Chinese ABC soup for the first time, and let's see how that turns out. I actually don't have corn, so I'm using celery, but I'll show that when it's done. And then I'm going to be cleaning, I'm going to be journaling, and I'm going to be smoking, but not anything illegal. Okay, YouTube, don't demonetizing. It keeps deleting all of my clips. Okay, but I was saying basically I like to make it special and cute, so I wanted everything to be cute. It's really bad lighting, but anyways, so this is the box, okay? And then I found this really, when I was out on a walk, I saw this one, and I was like, this is perfect. This is my grinder. Look how cute. It's a little magic 8-ball. And then we have my lighters. So this is actually the first one that I got for this box. I just thought it was very cutesy, girly pop, you know? And I wanted it to have, like, you know the song Girl Blunt? Do you guys know that song? I'm gonna link it below.
This shit is a girl blunt. I only smoke girl blunt.
But I wanted my box to have that vibe, so I felt like this matched it. But recently, I got a cute new lighter. I actually like this one better. And there's actually a little story to it, because I was sitting at work and feeling stressed out and bad about my life, and was just like, man, why does my life not look cute? And then I thought of this quote from Buddhism called "No mud," that says "No mud, no lotus." And the point is that, so lotus flowers are like the symbol of enlightenment in Buddhism, but lotus flowers grow in the mud. So the point is, like, you can't have enlightenment without suffering. And I was thinking of this quote, and it was making me feel better, and I was like, maybe tomorrow, my day off work, I'll go print out pictures of lotus flowers to put in my room to like remind me. And then I walked out of work, and I went to the convenience store, and I saw this lighter for sale. I thought it was like, I bought it immediately because it felt like a sign. Okay, so, and then I just bought, I ran out, but I just bought these little cones again, because I'm a wimp who doesn't know how to actually use like the rolling papers, even though someone taught me once, but I forgot how to use it. Sorry. And then I just have, this is legal, okay? Nobody, nobody come at me. It's legal. I just have CBD, and it's like, I'm not going to show it on camera. It's just like the whole leaf, and I just also have like, I like to mix it with other flowers to make it feel cute and pretty, but also because it makes it so that I don't have to use as much CBD per like joint blunt, I don't know. Okay, so I have rose petals and lavender in here, but I'm just gonna use lavender today. Lavender is supposed to also be good for anxiety, so I'm just gonna roll all of them right now. I'm actually gonna do all 3 at once because it's nice to have them, and I only smoke like half at a time, so I don't need to do like the whole thing, and then it saves me money. But I also just used the last of my CBD on these last 3, so it's a bit sad, but I have to buy more. And then while I do that, I'm gonna be listening. I found this little playlist, and it's all music, sort of like worshiping this Brazilian goddess of the ocean called Iemanjá. And yeah, so I'm gonna be listening to that. Her spirit really resonates with me. Actually, when I was story is that my parents actually, so my mom is Brazilian, my dad's American, and before I was born, they went to the ocean on like New Year's or something like that, and they left an offering to Iemanjá, and they asked for like a child or a daughter or something like that. And soon after, I guess they found out they had conceived me. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like we always had a painting of her in my house, and yeah. So I've just been listening. I've just been feeling drawn to listening to those songs recently, mantras. So I'm gonna show it and maybe put it like in my video if I'm allowed.
O vento que te trouxe te leva para o mar. Falo do cheiro da moça bonita, morena, formosa, filha de Iemanjá. O vento que te trouxe te leva para o mar. Falo do cheiro da moça morena,
Filha de Iemanjá.
filha de Iemanjá.
Okay, here's all three of them, and they're just gonna go back into this little guy for now because I want to clean before I smoke, so then I can feel calm and not be in a cluttered space. Oh, and I actually did have like a bit left over, so I'll just save that for another one. If I have, like, I don't know, yeah.
It's so all over the place, it's hard to know what to study.
Okay, here I am having showered, FaceTime my friend, and I'm eating my ABC soup. Oh, I forgot something. In my Spider-Man mug that the kid I nanny got me for my birthday, but I made like this, I love this little bottle. It's just from Bird and Blend, and I just put my loose leaf tea in here, and you can just make like cold brew tea. So I made this morning. I've been waiting to drink it, so I'm gonna be drinking that too. Okay, the soup is actually delicious. It was cooking for like maybe 2.5 to 3 hours, so definitely took me a minute. Slurp my soup. Good soup. I have so much to say about the soup, but like not the soup, just general things. I think I don't really follow like a specific diet or anything like that, but I think like I generally end up liking to eat / make like sort of like just wholesome things with like simple ingredients, like, or like hearty meals. Like I don't know. I think that's just what I like to eat. I think simple foods are just so good. Like this little broth turned out so tasty. But I don't know. I think that's just what I prefer, and I think it's just tried and true. I like foods that people have been eating for forever too. I think it just feels nourishing to my body. Okay, back when I was in college, like I had really, really bad digestive issues, and I didn't really know. I actually went into like the doctor, and they did tell me it was a bit like strange for me to have like, I guess like the symptoms that I was having for like my age, being someone who I generally eat pretty healthy. Um, but they wanted to do like, I don't remember what it's called, where they go into your stomach with like a camera, but it was the US. It's like $200, and I was like, I don't have that amount of money, so I'm just gonna figure it out myself. And I did like cut out like gluten, I cut out dairy, and I learned more about like anti-inflammatory foods and things like that. So I do think I have that like background in my head when I like eat, but I don't go out of my way. Since moving here, my digestive issues have pretty much gone away. And I do cook more for myself. Like instead of eating, I ate like a lot of my meals at the dining hall. I was also eating American food, like more probably. I'm sure the UK is not much better, but it's more, I think, more processed. But nowadays, I think I eat more like veggies, like straight up, like, you know, potatoes, carrots, tomatoes, rice, meat. I don't eat like a lot. I don't know. I do eat processed stuff. Like I eat lots of chicken nuggets from like the gluten-free chicken nuggets still, but I don't eat like, yeah, I think that's just a bulk of what I eat, and it feels good for me. And I don't know if that's really what healed my digestive issues. Like I think I also am not in a bad headspace the way that I was back then, and I do think that level of anxiety was probably messing with my gut. But I think I also got better at cooking, so I just have cooked more things, and I think I feel more freedom in the kitchen. So yeah, I do think that like all that probably contributed to just having better digestive health. And I drink a lot of herbal tea now as well, which is something that I didn't do before. I do think that probably has had an effect. And just get more rest. I don't know. It's just like different, but yeah, but I don't think like back then I was like I need to eat like anti-inflammatory foods because I feel so bad, and I don't know. But one thing I have been dealing with since moving here, and I think the reason that my face changed a bit, is that I think I have some kind of hormonal issue, but I don't know like what to do about that. Okay, if you're a hater and you're gonna hate, just don't. Okay, go away. This is very extremely normal for many women. But I did start growing like some hair like around here, like more. I did not have that issue before. I did not have that issue as a kid. And you can see I have more like hormonal acne. And I will say, I think since moving here, like my face has been, it's just kind of puffed up. Like I think my face has been a little bit inflamed. And granted, I clench my jaw, and I started doing that when I was at college, and I don't think that helps. But I'm trying not to like, I think the mentality I've been trying to take towards it is like I'm not gonna sit there and feel stupid about it, or I'm not gonna try to like rush and be like, you know, sort of feeling unfeminine or ugly or anything like that, which is how I think society, I don't know if society encourages that, but I think that it's definitely, yeah. But I think that I have just been trying to like let my soul breathe a little bit since moving here, and not be like all on myself about everything all the time, even though I think that in career, in academics, I end up not letting myself breathe. But I think in terms of like my skin not being perfect, I'm just gonna let my soul breathe and just be like, okay. And I think hopefully that'll help the hormonal issue, because I think it really started getting worse when I moved here and was just really stressed out about, I was really stressed out for years and years of my life, like chronic stress sort of situation, which I think was the digestive part. But anyways, but yeah, I'm just trying to see if I can just give it a little bit of space and see if maybe it works itself out, and just trying to eat well and like cut down stress. And if my body needs, sometimes I'll be sleeping like 10 hours, or you know, I can't get up early. I'm just trying to let myself do that, because I think that our minds and our bodies are so intelligent actually, and so they actually, I think, know. Now, if you have an actual serious illness, go to the doctor. I'm not saying that, but I think that in terms of things like this, I think that our bodies know pretty well how to heal. And so I'm trying to give myself space to just let my body heal, because it's not like it's not a terminal illness or anything. So I'm like, you know, I think I'll just see if maybe it sort of, you know, I'll just take good care of myself. But anyways, that's been sort of like, I've been thinking about that recently now that I have more time, and just trying to see if I can. I've been drinking like celery juice, carrot juice in the mornings, to see if that helps. But it's kind of, I feel like the puffiness is going away. My face was really, really puffy when I moved here because I jaw clenched so bad. But yeah, it definitely made this part of my face like a little bit puffy. But it's okay. Like, it's fine. Like, I'm not gonna. I've just been trying to be like, whatever. It's cool. I think that's just a better. I think there's so much. I was thinking this morning. I think my biggest doom scroll is like I end up doom scrolling about beauty related things. I read actually the other day that you shouldn't be on retinol until you're 25. So that I was like, thank God, because I'm not on retinol, and I'm like, I don't want to get on it. But I think that there's so much pressure and so much information about anti-aging and like if you're a young woman, this is what I'm doing to become. I saw one today. I was like, this is what I'm doing to become a MILF at 35, and it's like, I'm tired. I don't want to do that. Like I just don't have like I don't really feel like thinking about all that stuff, and I'm trying to just trust that. I think that in so many cultures where people age really well, I think I think it also just comes down to having like I think that in the West, like we have this really stressed out attitude. And I think that it just kind of comes down to just maybe chilling chilling out and just like focusing on nourishing. I'm just trying to focus on nourishing my body and just enjoying the ride. And I think enjoying the ride and allowing for moments of joy and just relaxation and peace, like I think that's probably going to do better for me than sitting there. I think also better for my soul. Like, you know, like the picture of Dorian Gray, I kind of like, I don't know how to put it exactly, but I kind of feel that like in relationship to like anti-aging stuff, it's like you look so beautiful but your soul is rotting. Not to come at people for doing that stuff, but it's just kind of like, whoa, like I don't know. I just feel like I just want to be simple and like healthy, and I'm not going to rush to the skincare. Like I'm going to figure that out later. And granted, I have great genes. I think my grandparents aged really well on my dad's side, and on my mom's side definitely. My mom looks amazing. Like she's always looked amazing, and I think I feel pretty good about how I'm going to age, but at the same time, I'm trying not to buy into the panic as a woman. I think the question is like, what would happen if we aged badly? What then? Oh no. Like, you know, it's like, what's going to happen? Like, I don't know, your partner's going to be less attracted to you, or you're going to feel worse about yourself. And that's why I think it's like this, you should just detach from like that, because it's like, as long as you're feeding yourself good, healthy food, and you're just doing basic, simple, like taking care of yourself, what difference does it make if you look 35 when you're 50 or something? If you're, I don't know, it's like, what difference does it truly make when we think about it? I guess just feeling good about yourself, but I just hope that when I'm like, I don't know, 60, 70, I'm not really so concerned with that, and I'm just concerned with enjoying like my family and not feeling like, I feel like the way people talk about it, it's like you're like a failure of a woman if you haven't taking care of yourself in a way that makes you age like perfectly. And it's like, that's so sad. That's like extremely, extremely sad to think about. It's like a horrible mentality. And I think there's so many elements of aging well that I want to incorporate that have nothing to do with beauty. Like I hope that when I'm older, I'm still very like mobile. Like I hope that I keep up with my fitness when I'm older, so that I can move well. And like I hope that hope I'm like a wise person. I hope like I feel like cognition, like, you know, cognitive strength is so important, like keeping your mind active. And it just feels so sad and soulless. And I was just thinking, okay, the drama, but I think this is partly me. I'm like such a poet. I like to write poetry and stuff. I feel like, okay, I genuinely, like, I think that if reincarnation is real, I have the sensation of being like an extremely ancient soul. Like, I don't even think I'm an old soul. I think I'm like ancient. Like, I think that my first time I ever like incarnated into the world like was like Mesopotamian times or something like that. Like, that's how old I think my soul feels sometimes. And I just like, I feel like, I don't know. I was thinking about that when I was cleaning, so it kind of like correlated. That's why I'm saying it. But I was just thinking about how I think that's just me, because I think that's just because I like the old, like I love stuff from that. I thought that the first time when I was walking around the British Museum and I was seeing like stuff from Mesopotamia, I was like, that's me. Like if I was reincarnated at a certain point for the first time, it was definitely then, because I love that kind of like jewelry and like, I don't know, the poetry, like the goddesses and how like carnal and like ancient everything is. But I was just also thinking in the shower as I continued this thought process. I was like, I think ancient stuff is so like good. Like it's so like the food, like the philosophies and stuff. And I was like, am I crazy or are we getting stupider? Like, am I crazy? Because I feel like the thing is that with time, you're supposed to get like smarter. You're supposed to enjoy slower processes more and just feel the sense of dignity and like have like stronger connection to your values and stuff. And I feel like we're getting younger in a way of like, I feel like we are just so stupid nowadays. Like, not stupid. We have a lot of not like, you know, information, but I think we've confused information with like intelligence or like information with like wisdom or knowing more. I think we're all getting stupider. Like, I think there's less connection to like morals and like values. We're less like sort of interested in like, I don't even know. Like, I just feel like we're getting stupider and I just feel like we're losing so much along the way. And there's so much wisdom that was so intrinsic to us. Like, take care of the land and it'll take care of you. Why did now there not every culture is getting stupider, okay? Indigenous people have been saying that from the get-go and they're still doing that. But I just mean like Western culture, we are so stupid. Like actually like dumb a little bit. Like it's like when did we lose that? And like that is just so true and just like smart and it's like that's people already knew that back then and then we just decided to be like, no, we're gonna mess it all up. And it's like, what are we seeing happening? Are we stupid? We are. Like, I'm sorry. It's just, I think, and like just the values that we have, I was like, how did ancient people know so much? And we're looking at them and thinking they're stupid for like thinking like animals have a spirit. I still think that myself, okay? But and it's like we think we're so much smarter. I don't know. I just think a lot about science and just I love science myself. I think that science is so good. But I think that it's not about the science, but about the mentality of progress that we take on as Westerners, that we constantly need to be progressing. And I think that sometimes we do not root that down. And I think that sometimes we are just going. And I think that the West has always used progress as a reason to colonize. Like, we have always used, like, oh, we're going to improve your lives. We're going to, like, improve your culture and your society, which is, of course, a lie. But it's like there's so many places where it's like we are progressing, but we are doing it in, like, it's like deprogressing us. Because, like, for example, like, okay, yeah, we're gonna like progress indigenous cultures, and it's like, first of all, they were already doing what they were supposed to be doing from the get-go, and they were doing it well. But we also like, and now we've like forced them all to accommodate to like our culture, and our culture is just destroying the planet and destroying everything, and it's like, that's not progress. That's the opposite of progress. That's ruining something that already is good. And I think we are often ruining things that are good because we think we need to change everything all the time. And it's like, there's some things that were just good. And I think we should just lean back into ancient wisdom and like things like that much more. And I feel like there's this sort of progress thing that I think that like that's sort of like this root of like Western science sometimes. And Western science is great, okay? There's a lot of great things about it. It's great that we're curing diseases and all this stuff. But I think that it just comes down to the fact that, like, I don't know, I think that sometimes it is constantly trying to shake people out of the primitive or the ancient into the new. And, like, I think that there's a lot of parts of like ancient wisdom that we are just losing along the way. And I do not want this twisted into some weird right-wing ideology thing. We need to like we need to all be eating raw meat to be eating like our ancestors. Your ancestors did not eat raw meat, honey. I'm sorry. But also, it's just like, you know, I think that I do not mean it like that. I just mean it in the sense of like there's so many there used to be this sort of reverence for wisdom and for just like things taking a long time. You know, this soup took me 3 hours, but I feel like we are now sort of like, what's the word? We are sort of encouraged to like do things quicker, eat more conveniently, do everything faster. What are we speeding up for? why are we trying to do everything faster? For what? To have more time to scroll on our phones? Like, it just kind of like stuff like that where it's like, does it make sense? Because I just don't think that it makes sense. And it's just, we don't stop to think. I think like these days we do not stop to think about anything. Like, stop and think about what you're doing. Okay, let's all stop and reflect. Okay?
완전 돌같이 굳어.
Okay, we're outside. It's 12:30 in the morning, so I guess after this, I'm still gonna journal, but it's probably just gonna put me to sleep. But here we are. Oh. Let's see. I wonder if it'll. No. Try again. Okay. I've been thinking about what I'm gonna be like as a grandmother recently. So, my grandma in Brazil died of COVID like in 2020, and my grandpa in Brazil passed like a few months back, like in January, so 2 months ago. And so me and him weren't really close at all. I only met him one time, so I don't know. It was like a bit sad because it's like that's kind of, I don't know. That's both my grandparents in Brazil. It's just we didn't get to have, I think, as strong of a relationship as I wanted to have. But I feel like I feel my grandma in spirit heavily. They were both Virgos. I'm a Virgo as well. And I don't know, their story I think was such a big part of my life. But yeah, they were separated, so I didn't really meet my grandpa. And my grandparents on my dad's side, actually they were like another set of parents to me. Like we were really like they helped raise us. And now they're getting older. I don't know, it's been a bit of a strange transition, I think, especially being here. I'm not close by to them. But I don't know, it's just making me think about what I'm gonna be like as a grandparent. And I just hope that I'm wise. Like, I hope I have, like, I don't know, I can imagine myself having, like, a lot of wisdom to pass on to my grandchildren and hopefully being, like, someone non-judgmental that they can speak to. And I don't know, I want to cook for them. But I was thinking my grandma, and okay, so I was on the phone with my paternal grandparents, like, recently. We had the sweetest conversation. Like, my grandma told me, oh, okay. My grandma told me that, like, in her next life, she was like, I think in my next life I'm gonna be a psychologist. She was like, I think I could have been a good psychologist. And I don't know, that was just so touching to me. And I told her, I was like, well, maybe we'll work together in your next life. I don't know, that just felt so touching to me. I just felt like, yeah, I'm gonna see you again. Like, I don't know, like, I don't really know how reincarnation works. I don't know how, if I believe in it, if I do, how does it work? But I don't know, I just felt a little bit spiritual, like, yeah, I think I'll see you again. We'll interact again, and we'll maybe have a different relationship in another life. But yeah, that just was really sweet. I think I'll always remember that. Okay, now I'm just gonna drink this tea. This is such good tea that I got at the Asian market. And I had some coconut oil, like a tiny bit in the cup from when I melted some coconut oil. There's like a bit in there, but I was like, you know what? That's good for me. That's a whole supplement right there. So I just let it be there. But now I'm just gonna journal. I have a few things that I was wanting to journal about. This is my journal. I just got it. Well, I asked my mom for it for me. I asked my mom for it as a graduation present when I graduated from university, but it's just like a little black notebook from Barnes and Nobles. But I thought I was gonna really like decorate it and scrapbook it up, but I've never felt like drawn to that in this. I only do that in like other notebooks. But I have been writing in it a lot. But I have a few things that I was kind of thinking of. Oh, I actually wrote a lot. Why do I feel like I never journal when I was okay? Anyways, But I have like a few things that I was thinking about journaling. The first thing is that the reason that I ended up having a bit more of a self-care night instead of like, let me see if I can tilt this knot. Oh well. The reason I ended up having a little bit more of a self-care night instead of, or self-care day instead of doing more is that okay, so since about 2 years ago, I have like just these really, I don't know how to put it, but it's like when I go out of the house, particularly, I'll have these sort of like anxious, sort of like everything just feel like my mouth instantly starts to get extremely dry. I start to feel extremely hydrated. I'm like, I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, and I just feel really like overstimulated and it feels really disorienting. I guess it's just anxiety, but there's not like like I feel like there's not like I'm not thinking about anything in particular. It's just like the minute I leave the house, like I feel that way, and it's been when I was in New York, when I went home, like everything, and mm, it gets a bit annoying because it's like it's kind of, I feel like it's gotten better, but sometimes it gets annoying because it's like kind of hard to just go about my day. And so I just let myself rest today, and when I was sitting on the curb like trying to like get myself together, I was like, I don't know. I think maybe there's something here having to do with teaching myself to be patient with myself and my healing and everything. But I was gonna journal to see if like maybe intuitively, I was gonna do like a letter from my body to see if maybe my body has something it wants to tell me, or like maybe there's something that would help that I'm not like, maybe I am like dehydrated, but I feel like I'm drinking water. So I think it's kind of just like a stress response. And the other thing I thought about writing about is that, like I said at the beginning of this video, to bring it full circle, my after I did that meditation, my grandma posted a video of me reciting this poem that I wrote when I was like, well, I wrote it when I was probably like 10, or I've been writing poetry since very little. So I think I wrote it when I was probably 11, and then I read it at like I kind of fixed it up and read it when I was 12 for like this little concert sort of thing that was like this. It was like a kids talent show with this organization that did like peace related, like conflict resolution training kind of things. But anyways, it's a really, actually I think it was a really really good poem for like my age and stuff. But when I watched it, I think I felt so much cringe. Like it wasn't, but I think that but it's funny because I just want to overcome that. And I know it sounds silly, but I think it's just, I think I felt that way about myself when I was little. And I think now from an adult's perspective, looking at a child, like you want to be like, no, like you are doing something really cool. It's a really good poem. Like you have the courage to get up there and read it. But I think I still have that inner child voice in me that's just really embarrassed. And I think I feel that way still all the time. Like I feel really embarrassed to be seen. I think ironically, when I do something good or like something worth seeing, I feel shame because I feel, I don't know how to put it, like guilt, like shame, embarrassment when people see like the things that I'm like up to, or like my achievements and my accomplishments, or when people just see me as like a good person or something, I get really embarrassed. And I think I just hide a lot. I've always been like, I was always a really like kind of a shy kid, and I think I'm kind of a shy adult. I've definitely come out of my like shell more, but I think I'm still a pretty shy person overall, or at least more reserved, more quiet. So, but I do like, I'm a Leo rising. I do like to also be, social and share and things like that. So, I don't know. I think I was kind of also thinking about seeing if I could journal to work through some of those thought processes that I had when I was a kid that just made me feel so much pain. And I'm trying to rewrite them now. I think I'm much more, I'm probably like 1 million times more confident than I was as a child. But I think that I wish my inner child just liked herself more by like a lot, because I was such a cool kid and I never saw myself as like a cool person or someone worth really listening to or sort of hearing from. And yeah, so I'm gonna maybe journal about that. Okay, here's the letter that my body wrote me. Um, Dear Raquel, it's me, your body. I'm really struggling at times to deal with so much stimuli. I need simplicity right now, compassion, and feeling secure. Sometimes I need more rest to process and digest things emotionally. I want to be forced less. I want to go with the flow more and be at home more. I know your mind has big ideas and places it wants to go, but your mind has taken precedence over me for such a long time. Sometimes I need you to listen to me. I want to have some control too. For me, it's not about the food you eat, but the respect you give me as you eat it. I want to eat more and I don't want you to leave the house or stress right after eating. I want to relax more. If you tell me that going slow or moving at my pace is dangerous or it will cause danger, I'll react like the world is a dangerous place. But if you trust your own pace, trust that you're where you're meant to be and release expectations, I'll reflect that back to you. I'm also feeling isolated and insecure without community. I want more comfort. Can you buy a weighted blanket again? Love, Body. So yeah, that's what my body wrote me. I kind of forgot I used to have a weighted blanket back at school and I love that thing. And I feel like it's so good. It's apparently like it releases the same I think it like gives the same effect as like a hug. So I think maybe that's what my body was referring to. But yeah, I guess maybe I'll try to save and buy a weighted blanket again when I have a little bit extra money. So that was interesting. I think I'm gonna write a little bit from my inner child's point of view, but I'm not gonna share that because I don't feel like it. Okay, the CBD is like really hitting now and I'm getting really sleepy. But I want to wash my hair in the morning before I go to work, so I'm just gonna oil my hair actually tonight and braid it and then wash it in the morning. So I'm just gonna do that with my rosemary oil. I feel like I look like I'm in some kind of crazy desert or something right now. It's like dusty. But it's just once again my red light bulb on right now. I feel like it's like become pinker, yellower over time, like less orange, which is a bit strange, but I'm okay with that. I think part of what my body was talking about is that I think that I have so many things that I want to do like in London. And sometimes I think I feel guilty for just or not even London, everywhere that I've been in the past few years. I'm like I want to go out and be doing more, but I think that I just haven't really had the chance. But I have all these ideas of things I want to do, like on my days off. I want to go hiking again. I want to go to like the one time I went hiking. Now, this might just be a coincidence, but it was also like I think the last day of my period or the day before. Oh, it turned out to be the day before. But after, it was only a 2 hour hike, but it was a bit like it was really tiring. I enjoyed it a lot. But on my way back, I started to feel really, really sick. And then I got like really sick for a few days, like almost like COVID-y sick. And I might have just picked something up, but I think my body was already feeling tired from being like in my luteal phase. I don't remember. And then I just went and like did the strenuous exercise. But I think sometimes I just like I really want to go out and like do more things, go to like museums and like explore the city, but I don't know, I feel like my body just hasn't really been like up to it, and sometimes I feel a bit annoyed by that because I'm like 23 and I feel like guilty for not going out and enjoying the city more and just being a bit more active. Like I don't particularly enjoy being like a homebody, but I think that's just been the situation and I'm trying to embrace it because honestly it is nice to just be at home and rest and stuff, but I think even in the last few months, even though I've been at home and resting, I've felt like I needed to be working on more things and just be working on stuff for my master's applications, job applications, whatever. So I feel really guilty when it gets to be time to like just chill. I feel like I should be finishing something or doing something, you know? So, yeah, I think I definitely do have like a lot of like I'm very mentally active and I have so many things I want to do, but I think that I don't exactly my body doesn't always cooperate and that makes me feel frustrated. And I think it just goes back to that other video I made about discipline and why I ended up adopting that mentality and those habits because my like today I was supposed to go to the gym, but I was like I need to just as much as I really want to go to the gym and I want to do that, like I need to give my body like room to be well, like it said in the letter, like in control more. And sometimes I just mentally like it's like physically draining. And it's not because the exercise is hard or anything like that, but just because I think I'm just processing a lot and I just need downtime. So I think it's hard not to beat yourself up sometimes when those kinds of moments come about and you're like you sort of I get frustrated like why can't I just keep my routine? But it's like sometimes I'm a routine oriented person, so I jump into the routines and want the routines, but I think that it'll get easier over time, but right now I'm just sort of still in healing mode from like my life and like everything that happened. So I think I think I felt guilty in the past for not being able to keep up with like sometimes we go on vacation and my body just wasn't really keeping up with the pace of like my family members, or sometimes it's not really keeping up with the pace of my friends. And I think that because of that, I feel a bit, I just feel bad, or I feel like I just need to push myself. But sometimes it's just not really about pushing yourself and just trusting that you're gonna sort of come out the other end and feel better. I don't know. I think I've gotten to a weird place where I'm not really thinking about everything that happened and I'm not in the thick of it. So I feel like I'm like I know I'm not technically done healing. It still pops up and it's still but I think it feels like okay, that's done. Like let's move on. Like let's jump into like this next phase and just jump in full energy and going to doing all these things and having this new life. And it's like I think like my maybe my mind is there, but I don't think my body is there 100%. Like my body hasn't really caught up and my body is still feeling all of those things. And just that my mind, it's not, I think sometimes it's maybe not even that it's like, oh, I'm done healing, but I think my mind is very good at distracting itself with other things and sort of pushing those things aside so that I can just keep functioning and things. But I think that like your body doesn't have the same reaction. I think it holds and stores all of those things. So I think that sometimes it's like maybe mentally I'm like, I'm healed, I'm good, I want to go out and do all these million things. But my body is like, no, girl, I need to just be at home and just be under the covers. And I think especially I just moved around so much and did so many things where I had to just push and push and push myself. I had to push myself at school, I had to graduate, and I had to push myself to move here and work and figure everything out. And I think it's just like I've just been pushing so much, and I think I can really see that in the way my body has reacted. Like, you know, I feel like I'm holding like so much stress that I held in my face that's now reflecting in my face, which again, it's really not that bad, but I think I just see it. And like, you know, or just feeling tired. I'm like, why am I like I don't need to sleep so much. I'm being lazy. I'm not being, I need to get out of bed in the morning. It's like I think I'm really just maybe I'm physically more exhausted than I'm thinking that I am. And yeah, I think like if you just give yourself room to have that reaction and feel through that, then like you'll just get out. You'll come out the other end feeling a lot better and just feeling healthier. And it's like instead of just pushing to be okay, and it's like maybe my body's just not okay right now and I just need to give it like time to rest. So okay, that's everything. I'm gonna put on my little it's not silk, it's satin, my satin bonnet, and just watch a Korean drama. But yeah, that's been my little like spiritual self-care night. Let's see where my cat even is. She went wandering the halls, but all right, good night.
정우, 눈 떠. 그래, 알았어. 따뜻한 말 해줄게. 내가 지내던 곳에 아주 큰 나무가 있었어. 거기 꼭대기